Hello everybody. So I think the title of this video will be, Will 91% isopropyl rubbing alcohol kill ants? So the main idea of this is something that I can use inside my home environment that's not hazardous in any way to humans. So I don't want to use like insecticide, even if it's labeled for possible indoor use. But I tried this out today. So, alcohol, like rubbing alcohol you would buy for medical purposes, um, it comes in different strengths, but the strongest strength that I've been able to find in the stores is 91%. So I bought one of those little travel spray bottles too, and I had some ants, surprising amount of ants, and I'd had this bottle unopened for a few years, or, about that length of time. And I finally had so many ants that I thought, well, I'll try this out on them. So I put the alcohol in the spray bottle and I sprayed the ants. And if you spray it on, you can adjust like the fineness of the spray. Like you can get a really fine spray or a straight stream or something in between. So I had it so it was going out. It wasn't like a straight squirt gun stream or anything. And it would seem like it would get the ants to like stay on the wall and kind of stick there and stop moving. So I figured, though, it really depended on the ants. Like some of them, it didn't really phase that much. You keep spraying it on them and they keep crawling, but others it would. And I noticed that it seemed to me like the ones that it really stopped in their tracks, like they were drowning in it or, getting asphyxiated by it or something, that if I waited a long enough time, like 10 minutes or so or more maybe, that they would gradually start crawling again. And there's another thing, though, I tried, and that is, so you know what white vinegar is? So usually the standard strength of white vinegar is 5% acidity, but you can get the low strength, which is 4%, and you can get something called cleaning vinegar, which is 6%. Well, I had some cleaning vinegar, which is more acidic than either of those other two lower acidity vinegars, and I tried that last year on some ants that were on my drywall, and I just sprayed it on them with a plant sprayer bottle, but it got a few of them where they would stop and they seemed to like drown in it because they were like sideways on the wall, but a lot of them would just keep on like dragging on through it, even if you sprayed them over and over with it. So the best thing that I know that works with ants, so if you don't want to use anything hazardous in your environment, and I had to kill a wasp today, by the way, too, which bothered me, because I could have been stung, and I had to step on it, so I was lucky that I didn't miss it or anything. But back to the ants, if you have like a floor that's like, like fake wood or something that's like plastic, something that won't get damaged by getting it wet, then you can just take, like, if they're in a big line, they're crawling in sort of like a big long train of ants, you can just take some wet toilet paper and pick them all up and get them in the toilet and flush them down the toilet. That's going to increase your water bill a little bit. But there was a year, I think it was 2 years ago here, and I had a lot of ants coming in, and they would come in like under a door and then go around under my dryer. They were making this constant trail, and I think they were going both ways. But every time I got a chance, I had to build myself up to this, but I would get some wet toilet paper and I would just smear this whole lineup and really quickly get it in the toilet and flush it down. And if I had any ants that had crawled on my hands, I would rinse them off down the sink in the bathroom. And if you just keep doing that every chance you get, you got to give them some chance to build up their numbers, the thickness of their trail again. But if you do it like night and day, before work, after work, maybe multiple times each, and you just keep doing that every day, you are going to decimate those ants. You're going to be a real ant annihilator. That's an expression I made up. The ant annihilator, right? So, yeah, it definitely, I can guarantee you, if you kill enough ants, they are finite in number, and all of a sudden they'll start thinning out. One day they'll get thinner and thinner, and at one point there'll be maybe a few little stragglers, but at some point they're just going to completely stop because you will have decimated their colony. and they can't survive. They need ants to like feed the eggs or whatever, the tend for the new babies, or keep the colony going and set it up and stuff. The worker ants, they're needed for certain duties. And if there aren't enough worker ants, if you've killed enough of them off, then I think the colony will suffer seriously. There may be a few and it could recover. I think this one from like 2 or more years ago is making a sudden comeback this year. So with warmer weather, we do get some ants. And so I did try the alcohol out, and it's fun to use. I mean, it sort of works. I think it teaches them a lesson, but I would use it on something like drywall on a wall where you can't like smash them or take a chance smearing them repeatedly with water, because that might wear off the drywall and then damage the wall. I mean, you could repaint it, I suppose, but I don't want to play around with that too much. And like I said, I've tried the cleaning vinegar, just spraying it directly on the side of a drywall. It doesn't work as well. I don't want the vinegar. The vinegar I don't mind at all, but I don't want the alcohol too near me, like my room where I sleep, because it does have fumes that will evaporate. But the other thing I haven't tried would be something like bleach, but that's really dangerous, like for your home indoor environment. If you could spray bleach on them, though, but you can hurt your own self with bleach. But there may be some other ideas that I'll be trying with these ants. But it's important that we get rid of them. You should be killing off your ants so that they're gone for the season. It's like a chore to do. And I don't use any of the things that are hazardous, like ant traps, or because they have real poison, or any kind of sprays that are like poisonous. And I know there's some sprays that are like rated for home use, and some are like organic, but if you read the label, it says that they're hazardous to humans, like you don't want to ever spray them. And then that kind of worries me, like it could get in or near my food eventually, or in the air that I breathe and stuff like that. So I know I've talked a lot about this, but thank you so much. Have a great time. Enjoy yourselves.